Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for a knee-jerk stream, as always, Sunday evening, where we do we react to the current game week, and we also look ahead to the next game week as well. And wow, what a mad game week it ended up being, because, just it was a very high-scoring week at the end. And yeah, we're going to all break it down and talk about how game week 4 has gone, because it was, as I said, a bit of a mad one. How you doing, Jordan? Have you got your breath back after watching that game as well, United Arsenal?
I don't think I'll ever recover, if I'm honest, from watching that mad game. This game week has been absolutely insane. Literally, it's been hat-tricks galore, clean sheet wipes, goals galore. It's had everything, literally, in this game week, and I can't wait to explain it all.
Yeah, we'll get into it all. We talk about our teams, talk about the good, we'll talk about the bad, talk about our ranks. We're also going to discuss, transfers and all that sort of stuff. Wild cards, potentially, managers are rage wild carding and stuff. We're going to get all into it, guys. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you hit that like button. And yeah, let's discuss. So I'm going to start off with my teams. So in goal, it is Pickford, as you guys know. And where do I start with Pickford? It's been one of the worst picks. I mean, I couldn't have picked a worse goalie, really, going into the season. Pickford, 1 pointer, and he concedes 2 goals as well against Sheffield United. Now, Pickford actually got 6 saves that game, so we did get 2 points for that. But, as for those that didn't watch the game, he also scored an own goal. So that was -2. He also conceded 2, so that's -1. So he ends up on 1 point. Very annoying, very frustrating. We'll come on to why as well, as you can see from my bench as well. So why? But yeah, Pickford 1 pointer, and I wish I could get rid of him. Moving on to the midfield, moving into the defense. Let's start off with, Estupiñán. As I expected, I didn't expect Brighton to keep a clean sheet. However, I was very surprised that they got the 3-1 win. Now, a lot of us probably backed Newcastle to bounce back. Fair play to Brighton. I thought they were brilliant. And obviously, Evan Ferguson, who we'll come on to later, the hat-trick was amazing. However, it is very frustrating that Estupiñán lost his clean sheet in the 92nd minute, I think, literally right at the end. So that is a tough one to take for us owners. Moving along to Ben Chilwell. Now, I don't think many saw this coming. And I think, Jordan, we did say we kind of see this coming, especially you. You said Nottingham Forest are a bit of a dodgy team. Like, they might actually do well. And lo and behold, Chelsea go lose 1-0 at home to Nottingham Forest, which is worrying, because a lot of us are tripled up on Chelsea. So what does that do to our Chelsea players? Are we still great fixtures? Because now those fixtures, when I look at it, Bournemouth, Villa, Fulham, Burnley, they look all of a sudden they look a bit tough again for Chelsea. So I'm very interested to see what managers do that have triple Chelsea. Do they think it's a little setback? Or are we going to knee-jerk some of their players out after knee-jerking Sterling in, potentially? So, yeah, 1-0 loss, very disappointing, and Ben Chilwell goes away with 1 point. Moving along to Ruben Diaz now. This one is very, very frustrating, because as we guys, we know, Man City kept 2 clean sheets in their first 2 games. And I'm thinking, the defense looks good. I'm going to bring in one of the players. I'll bring one in. That's 2 weeks in a row now where Man City have conceded. Firstly to Sheffield United last weekend, and then this weekend, 5-1 win against Fulham. So very annoying as a Ruben Diaz owner that Man City couldn't get the clean sheet. And yeah, it's just one of those. Hopefully, he can turn it around, really. But yeah, it's disappointing all round from my defense. No returns or whatsoever. Moving along to the midfield, where there's a slight bit more success. Mbeumo, again, he carries on being an absolute gem for me, for my team. Very happy to own him. I think he's had a really good season so far. He obviously scores that really nice goal. Bit of an error from the defender where he turns. I can't remember what defender it was. He turns him, runs through in goal, and then slots it left foot. And he also got 1 bonus point. So yeah, lovely 8-pointer from Mbeumo. Very happy about that. Moving along to obviously the big one. We just finished watching Arsenal against Manchester United in a very entertaining 3-1 win for Arsenal. And Rashford, I was actually quite confident, and I told the chat that Rashford I had a feeling that Rashford would score today, and that's what he exactly did. Man United for the first 27 minutes, I didn't think were great. A lot of sloppy passes, couldn't really get a hold of the game, and then bang, Eriksen ball in, Rashford is through, and then lovely goal from Rashford. It curls it past Ramsdale, and Man United kind of went ahead against the run of play, as they normally do. But I thought that was a very good goal from Rashford, and I'm happy with the 7-pointer as well. So yeah, we'll take that. Moving on to Bruno, who only gets a 2-pointer in that blank. So, and talking about the game slightly, I thought Bruno wasn't great in that one. I thought he was one of United's worst players, if I'm being honest. I thought he struggled a lot in terms of being calm and controlled on the ball. I didn't really see him kind of take the game by the scruff of the neck. I thought Eriksen was a lot better than he was, and it is a bit disappointing from Bruno. You probably expect a lot more in that big sort of game, being the captain. So yeah, I am quite disappointed in Bruno. I expected a bit more from him. He wasn't even as involved as he normally is. Moving along to Saka. Now, again, Saka, he did get the assist for the goal. So that he ends up with 4 points. And he also got the yellow card, so -1 for that. Saka also should have really scored, if I'm being honest. Saka had that brilliant chance, a lovely bit of play from Arsenal. Martinelli into, I can't remember, on the right side. They cut it back. All Saka has to do is put his foot through it, and he just kind of side foots it straight into Onana's hands. And then that was a big miss from Saka. Really should have done better. Bit disappointing there. Moving along to Sterling, obviously that 1-0 loss. And I actually bought, for those that don't know, I bought in Sterling for Martinelli. And, as always with FPL, Martinelli goes ahead and gets an assist and Sterling blanks. So that definitely hasn't paid off so far in first game week with Sterling. Because Martinelli, obviously, as I mentioned, went and got an assist. It was frustrating owning Sterling. However, Sterling did cut it back, didn't he, to Jackson. And we will come on to that. Jackson's terrible miss. And I can't believe it. It gets worse every time you watch it, really. What did you think of that Jackson miss? I don't know if you caught it.
I wish I never saw it, if I'm honest. From 5 yards in front of the goal, and he still manages to hit it over the goal. I'll never know how and why, or how he managed to hit it so high. I think it was more harder missing than it was scoring the actual goal. But yeah, it's frustrating. It's like with Chelsea, no forwards can shoot properly.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to come on to Jackson in a sec. But yeah, Sterling really should have had an assist for that. And yeah, moving on to Jackson and my front forward line, we saw that miss from Jackson. It's pretty much everywhere. He should have really scored that. And then that would be a Sterling, and that would have been an assist for Sterling, and a goal for Jackson. So probably would have got a green arrow, possibly. So again, disappointing from Chelsea assets. Obviously, having 3 of them in my team hadn't paid off this game week. Moving along to Erling Haaland, who is pretty much responsible for more than half my points this game week. So yeah, what's more to say about Haaland? He gets a hat trick so he gets 12 points for the 3 goals. He also gets an assist, and he comes away the 3 bonus points as well. So well done to those that went triple captain Haaland. Definitely paid off if you went there. I know some people are talking about it in the deadline stream. Should we triple captain Haaland? I said I'd rather wait for a double game week, but we've seen Haaland scored a hat trick in game week 4 last season as well, I believe, and again this season. So that's 2 game week 4s in a row. Haaland hat trick. So remember next season, guys, game week 4, Haaland's going to score a hat trick. But yeah, look, that's the team, guys. It's not been great. All out 70 points, but I do want to come onto my bench because I have quite a lot of points on my bench, as you can see. So Turner, who got the 5-pointer, who I should have really played ahead of Pickford. But I didn't really see Nottingham Forest. I didn't see Nottingham Forest keep a clean sheet against Chelsea, if I'm being honest. So yeah, and 5 points on the bench. Kabore, 1-pointer, who didn't start, I believe, for Luton. Gabriel did start. He has come back into the Arsenal team, which is positive news going forward, if I want to play him still. So he gets 2 points. And then Archer is the one that, a bit of a surprise. Now, we know Archer moved from Aston Villa to Sheffield, and he ended up having a bit of a stormer, getting a goal and getting an assist, as well as 3 bonus points to come away with the 12-pointer against Everton. Now, yeah, Archer's on the bench. Obviously, I didn't realize what he's going to go and do. And, you're going to play Jackson, aren't you? And against Forest. So, yeah, bit Bit annoying with Archer points on the bench. However, at least I have a 4.5 million playing forward, and going forward, I think Archer now 100% is the best 4.5 million forward in the game. So on wildcard, I think a lot of people will probably go with Archer. So all in all, I think for me, game week 4, 70 points. It is a red arrow. Quite a big red arrow, I'd say. I was around 980k, I believe, overall rank, and now I'm 1.4 million. So yeah, sizable red arrow. But again, I'm not too fussed, if I'm being honest. Still early days, but it is a bit disappointing because whenever you get a red arrow, it's not great. So yeah, 70 points all out. That is my team for game week 4 so far. Let us know how you guys did in the chat as well. And also, if you are, just joining the stream, please don't forget, guys, hit that like button, and also make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. A lot of content to come. So please like and subscribe and share the video as well if you can. So from one game week, let's move on to you, Jordan, because obviously it's been obviously the opposite really for you. And it's been, as you guys can see from the title, top 10K. Obviously, Jordan, you're having a fantastic start to the season. Yeah, brilliant, really. You're top 10K, as we're going to go on to your team. Let's move it along to your team and just talk us through your team, how you're feeling with the moves and the decisions as well. You got to talk about the transfer that you didn't make and you actually made. So talk us through your team.
Okay, guys. So yeah, starting off in goal, we have Ederson, who gets his 3 points from that massive win against Fulham 5-1. Annoyingly, obviously, Ederson does concede again, so his clean sheet was wiped, but he did get 3 saves, so he did earn 1 point for making 3 saves in that game. So yeah, a bit annoyed Ederson couldn't keep another clean sheet again. And yeah, but one question for us: can you sell Ruben Diaz so that Ederson keep a clean sheet again?
Yeah, I know it's just mad with we saw it last season with Ederson when he wasn't getting clean sheets, and then it's just, I don't know. I think I am a bit unlucky so far. With the Man City assets, both get 2 easy games on paper and then they concede. So yeah, let's see what happens. But yeah, Ederson, I guess I've cursed him this time around.
Yeah, but we move on. Obviously, he has West Ham next, so we'll see what he does against that team. But yeah, moving on to the defense. Obviously, Estupiñán doesn't keep a clean sheet in the dire minutes of that 3-1 win against Newcastle, which I thought Brighton were amazing in that game. They proper showed domination and attack in all throughout that match. Gave Newcastle a very hard time to score. Literally, they only managed to score 1 goal past Brighton, which was literally in the last seconds. And that was when, obviously, both teams did substitutions and whatnot. And yeah, it was a bit annoying because it was in the last minutes that the clean sheet was wiped to Estupiñán. But again, he is a highly owned defender. So rank-wise, it doesn't really affect us, those who do own him. Moving on to the next defender, and that is Udogie, who gets his 5 points in that high-scoring 5-2 win over Burnley. So yeah, 5-2 to Tottenham, and Udogie does get an assist for one of the goals. So yeah, I was happy that Udogie did return despite Spurs conceding 2 goals to Burnley. I was quite surprised they actually conceded 2. I thought they would actually keep a clean sheet against Burnley, but I was happy still. Udogie got another attacking return. That is the reason why I brought him in, just in case he doesn't get clean sheets. He's delivering on the attacking return, so it was nice to see him to get that assist. He also did lose a point.
Sorry, I was just going to ask you. There's a question as well here from Football Edits. Who's dropped a question of just letting you know, Football Edits. We see all the questions. Please don't spam the same comment. But yeah, would you use Udogie or Romero as well? Because we're on the chat of Udogie, I guess.
Yeah, because Romero did score again in that game, and on our transfer tip videos, we've been saying to ignore Romero, but yeah. I still think Udogie is still a better option than Romero. I mean, despite Romero still scoring each game week, I still think Udogie is a preferred option to go for because he's not got really a challenging position. He plays 90 minutes more or less, and yeah, I prefer Udogie.
Yeah, plus the attacking threat. your Romero's not going to score really every week. I know he has so far, but I don't see that happening going forward, I guess.
Yeah, he has proved us wrong each game where he's scored, but eventually, obviously, that won't always be the case.
Mhm.
But yeah, 5 points for you, Doggy. Moving on to the last defender, and that is Trent. Now, in the deadline stream, and obviously in team selection for this game week, I was going to actually transfer out Trent for Chilwell originally. But thanks to Huss and to you guys, you convinced me on keeping Trent for the Aston Villa game. And by goodness, was it a great decision? Because Trent gets a 12-pointer against Aston Villa. And literally, yeah, it was so nice to see. I didn't watch the match. I did listen to it, though. And yeah, that 3-0 win over Aston Villa shows how good Liverpool are at Anfield. And yeah, 1 assist, obviously, for Trent for one of the goals. And a clean sheet as well to go with it. So yeah, and the bonus 3 on top of that. So he does take the bonuses off of Salah, even though Salah did score in that game, which was quite a surprise. But I'm here. Trent played really well throughout that game. But yeah, I was very happy.
Yeah, because sorry, I was just going to add as well to that. The swing of that, like Trent keeping Trent. You know, that's nearly what is that swing in terms of points? So if you take away Trent and Maddison, and you had who are you going to bring in?
I had Mitoma and Chilwell.
Mitoma and Chilwell. How many points did Mitoma and Chilwell get? I think
Mitoma got 2 and Chilwell got
3. No, sorry, Chilwell got 1. So it's 3 points total, I think.
Yeah. And in combination with Maddison and Trent, that's 19-point swing.
Oh yeah, 15 points. You're gonna take plus the 3.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Or 14 points. But yeah, that's a massive swing. Oh, actually, Dan's saying Mitoma got 5 points. So yeah, 12-point swing.
Yeah, 12-point swing on that. Yeah, on that massive transfer move. Literally, I would not have kept Trent if you and Huss, you guys didn't persuade me to keep, obviously, him for this game week. So yeah, thank you guys for that. And yeah, that pretty much covers the defense overall. Not too bad. 2 attacking returns. And moving on to the midfield, and this is where we talk with Maddison, who was my optimal transfer that I made this week. So I did get rid of Mitoma, who, as the chat says, 5 points Mitoma did get this game week. Maddison did outscore Mitoma by 2 points. So again, the transfer this week has paid off yet again. Maddison did score in that 5-2 win over Burnley. And yeah, Maddison, again, as we saw last week, he completely owns that forward line and literally played like a professional player would play. Literally no mistakes, no errors for Maddison whatsoever. Thought he played very well in that game. And yeah, that nice one of the goals that he did score against Burnley, again, tops it off as why I wanted to bring Maddison in. Obviously to you guys as well for convincing me to bring Maddison in and taking Mitoma out, who did have a more difficult fixture. Next, we have Sterling. A bit disappointing, if I'm honest, from Sterling. Only the 2 points in that 1-0 loss against Nottingham Forest.
He should have had an assist, to be fair, for that Jackson goal, obviously.
He did deserve to have an assist from that massive miss from Nicholas Jackson. Unfortunately, despite that, I thought Chelsea played really badly in all positions. But yeah, Nottingham Forest is a weird team, as we've said before. You don't know what you're going to get from Nottingham Forest. And again, Chelsea, I think they should have really won that at home. But again, we'll see what they could do next fixture. Moving on to the next midfielder, that's Saka, who gets his 4 points against that win over Man United, 3-1 in that thrilling game, especially near the end. Those 2 late goals for Arsenal got them the 3 points. But Saka did get an assist from one of the goals. And even though he got a yellow card as well, so a point was taken off of that. So that does leave him with 4 points overall. I think that did help squeeze me into the top 10K, that literally that one assist from Saka just edged me up into that top 10k because I was below it prior to that. But yeah, Saka did deserve to score, like Huss mentioned in that game. He had 2 good chances, but unfortunately he couldn't finish either one. Next we have Foden, who obviously gets his assist in that 5-1 win over Fulham. And yeah, I was quite happy as well for Foden to get some sort of attacking return, considering Manchester City scored 5 against Fulham. So I was quite happy Foden didn't blank overall. And yeah, it was nice to see him start as well in that game, playing almost, well, pretty much 90 minutes in that game. So hopefully he can obviously keep that up and play a lot of minutes. And finally, we got Mbeumo, who gets his 8-pointer in that 2-2 draw against Bournemouth. Now, I thought Brentford did really well because they were looking like they were going to lose that match, but they did claw it back. And Mbeumo scoring that equaliser, and he did get a bonus 1 on top of that. So again, Mbeumo has shown that he is a very valuable asset. When he originally started at 6.5 million, he's currently now 6.8 million. So he's had a lot of price rises, and deservedly, due to his performances from each game week, only blanking once so far. And finally, we move up front to the 2 forward players, and that is Nicholas Jackson. As we have spoken about, massive chance right in front of him, 5 yards away from the goal, and manages to sky the football right over the post crossbar. I have no words on how Nicholas Jackson could possibly miss that.
It's a sitter.
Yeah, I think that will haunt him for quite a while, especially with Chelsea losing that game 1-0 to Nottingham Forest, and surprisingly kept the only clean sheet on Saturday, Nottingham Forest as well. So yeah, nothing from Nicholas Jackson, but hopefully he can find some form in his shooting next game. And finally, we move on to Haaland, who scores his first hat-trick of the season and gets his 40-pointer because of obviously the captaincy. He did get an assist as well as scoring the 3 goals, and he got the bonus 3 on top of that. So that is 20 points, but because it's 40, I have captained Haaland this week, so he was the preferred captain pick, which paid off. Obviously, no surprise there from Haaland, but it doesn't really matter much because majority of us own him, as he is over 90% in everyone's teams. But yeah, overall, that's how the starting 11 pretty much went. I thought it was quite a mixture of returns, but ended up being really well. In terms of the team bench, not much to really talk about. There's only Areola, who obviously got his 2 points in that 2-1 win over Luton. Late goal from Luton, which completely ruined the clean sheet for Areola, for those who did start him in goal. Botman didn't play in that game. Hill didn't play, and Mabama didn't play. So nothing much on the team bench. It's looking a bit flaggy on that team bench. But overall, it's been a really nice week. I won't complain. 89 points, and I have broken through the top 10k. So I'm now at 8,000 overall rank currently, before obviously the break that we do have now. And I was 33k previously, but yeah, green arrow for me at 8k. So I'm really happy, obviously, with that. And that's pretty much how my game week 4 has done, guys.
Okay, yeah, nice. I mean, you've broke into the top 10k, so well done on that. And yeah, a bit of a mad game week because it looked like it was going to be like a slow scoring one. However, it's turned out to be quite a bit of a high scoring one in the end. So yeah, let us know, guys, how many points you got in the chat as well, and we will also read out some of your comments. I think we're going to move into your comments now and discuss, all the major talking points of the weekend. Talk about a game week 5 as well. We're going to look ahead. Obviously we do now have a 1 week break from football due to the international break. So it lets us kind of reset, rethink, and also maybe relax as well, with a lot of people knee jerking now. And, people wanting to sell all their Chelsea assets. People want to buy Son and all this mad stuff. We're going to get into it all, guys. So don't go anywhere. we've got a lot to discuss. And if you are enjoying the content, please do smash a like button for us. It really helps support the channel. Okay, so Harry with the comment, one word for Jordan, Trent. Yeah, I mean, we've spoke about Trent, the decision to keep him. I think Trent's the reason why you're in the top 10K, if I'm being honest, because he's the one that gets you that big 12 point. I don't think he's that highly owned around your rank. I may be wrong, but I think
no, he's not at all. A lot of people sold Trent to the point where he dropped in price. He's only 12% now owned. He was well over 20%.
Yeah, and if you look at the effective ownership as well near your rank, I don't know if you have checked it yet, but I'm guessing it's low as well.
Only 2.2% EO around my rank.
There you go. So Trent obviously massive help this week, differential. But yeah, I mean that's sometimes what you need, I guess. Sub for sub says I did a -4 for Rashford to Sterling. That hurts.
Ooh.
I mean,
yes,
we did mention, didn't we? Like there was no point in taking hits to take out players this week, even the likes of Rashford, etc. When they had a tough fixture.
No, absolutely not. Especially with the break as well. I think a lot of people would want to wait and hold on for a transfer, especially if you didn't need to necessarily make one, unless you have an injured player in your team.
Yeah, I was very skeptical. I mean, I bought in Sterling, but I did it for free. For a hit, it's not something that I would have done, but hey, hopefully it does pay off for you going forward after the international break. And Harry also says 87 points, Edouard captain. Very well played.
Yeah, I was watching that Crystal Palace game, and I had in my mind from the deadline stream, Harry mentioned he captained Edouard. And I was so happy for you, Harry, when Edouard actually scored in that game. So well done for captaining.
Yeah. He got 2 goals as well, didn't he?
I
think he got 2. And so, yeah, fair play, Harry. That was a wild pick, but, definitely paid off for you. David also says, Jordan, the FPL Jedi. Obviously, with the start you've had.
Thank you, David.
Fazid as well. I mistakenly captained Jackson instead of Haaland. Wow. That one's gonna hurt. Haaland getting a hat trick and then Jackson with the 1 point now. I mean, yeah, that one's gonna hurt. Kieran, Salah, Saka, Rashford making me want to sell Estupinian or Chilwell. I mean, Salah's the one, I think, yet again, 4 game weeks in a row. I know Salah's expensive, and people will say he might not be worth the value, etc., which could be true. But he is returning pretty much in every game. So for those Salah owners, again, I think it's been a good game week for you guys. Saka, a bit disappointing, I guess, today. He should have scored. Rashford, however, though, obviously, I think Rashford, 2 game weeks in a row now. Last game week, I think he got an assist. This game week, obviously, he scores. So, I think Rashford. Would you buy Rashford, Jordan? If you're a non-owner, of Rashford, if we just switch it back to your team right now on the screen, if we can move it along. Obviously, you don't have Rashford. What do you make of? Are you worried as a non-Rashford owner with the way Man United are playing, with the fixtures coming up? It looks a bit better for Man United on paper coming up.
No, I'm not too worried. I'll say at the moment. Even though Rashford has scored today, I just don't like Man United the way they play. I honestly don't. Even though they managed to score the first goal in that game, the team overall just looks all over the place, especially in those first couple of minutes. Like passes at the back. I think Onana had the most passes at the back than the whole entire team of Man United, which you might as well play Onana out of the goal into the midfield if you're going to have your goalkeeper passing more than the actual outfield players. So at the moment, no, I'm not convinced of any Man United assets, if I'm honest, until I actually see some proper good form throughout a game, consistent form. I'm actually put off by keeping or having any Man United assets in my team.
I mean, you went pretty bold. You removed, I think you had Bruno, or was it Rashford? Yeah. You removed him to game week 2. You bought in Sterling. Obviously, he goes and gets you a 19-pointer. And yeah, you've been pretty bold in not having any Man United assets. Obviously, it's paid off for you so far. But yeah, it's one to watch. Obviously, the Rashford and Bruno chat. Do we sell them? Or do we look at Man United's fixtures? Brighton next, Burnley after that, Palace, Brentford, Sheffield. I mean, these games don't look easy. The way Man United play, what's to say Brighton can't win that game? Brighton are playing really well.
Yeah, absolutely. They showed that against Newcastle. And Newcastle are pretty hard, even though they played away. I felt like Newcastle were overwhelmed completely overloaded, especially in that attack. Evan Ferguson as well. He's going to be a really good forward for Brighton when he gets 90-minute football, because he was outstanding in that game, scoring that hat-trick.
Yeah, we're going to discuss, I think, Man United in more depth, especially because they are so highly owned. I want to look at Bruno and Rashford in terms of the ownership. Marcus Rashford is owned by 30% of managers, and Bruno Fernandes is owned by 22%. So they are quite template midfielders. Let us know, guys, if you are a Bruno and Rashford owner, are you going to sell both? Are you going to sell one? What's your plans with them? Because there is a lot of, chat where people want to bring in the likes of Son, potentially, who we're going to come on to, as you can see from the thumbnail, after his hat-trick against Burnley. And I do want to discuss Son as well. Alex also says Martinelli to Eze worked out just about. Obviously Eze got the goal, so for fair play to those Eze owners, finally he's returned. I think you guys deserve it, the Eze owners, for holding on for this long, because Mbeumo was getting returns week in, week out, it seemed, and even Matoma got a goal, didn't he? And Eze was the one, that 6.5 million midfielder that didn't score, and obviously he's gone and done it.
Yeah, it was. If you guys watched it, or if you watched it, Huss, the goal for Eze was amazing.
I've not catched it, to be fair.
Have a look at it on the playback, because it was incredible the way he managed to score that goal.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out then. Definitely. Harry says, what, you didn't actually get rid of Trent? Yeah, I mean, you obviously kept him.
Yeah, Harry, I kept Trent. In deadline stream, a lot of you guys did convince me to keep Trent, because I was going to take him out for Chilwell, which would have been a bad move, because Chilwell didn't do well this game. Clean sheet white, and no points for him. And then on the other hand, Trent gets a double haul, and keeps a clean sheet, gets an attack and return. So I'm glad I didn't get rid of Trent.
Dan the man with a comment, 85 points here, played Pickford over Alisson. Wow.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I remember getting this. I think Dan did actually comment on the deadline stream who to play, Pickford, Alisson. I think I said Alisson. I didn't expect Liverpool to keep a clean sheet, I'll be honest. I thought, without Van Dijk, without Konate, Liverpool would probably concede. But I thought Liverpool were brilliant, really. If for those that didn't watch the game, if we could touch on Liverpool quickly. Now we're on the subject of Trent as well. Yeah, I thought Liverpool were pretty solid for most of the game, and Aston Villa didn't really threaten them. There was a couple of one or two shaky moments where, where maybe they could have scored on another day. But I think overall, Liverpool played a good game. Joe Gomez, I thought, was brilliant in defense. Obviously, Trent played really well going forward with the passing, his passing range, etc. But yeah, I mean, I still would have played Alisson regardless, just because he cost more money than Pickford, and Pickford's just been shocking. We'll answer this question from Football Edits. I would play Udogie. I just think Udogie has more attacking threat. I know Romero has been scoring goals. However, I don't think it's as sustainable. And I think Udogie, more chance of him getting assists as well in that sense. And going forward, he's more likely to get involved in the attacking phase. The way Spurs are currently playing under Postecoglou, they're looking very good, aren't they? I don't know if you watched the Spurs game.
I did catch a little glimpse of that game, and I think because of the fixtures are easy as well. It's the type of fixture where you see a lot of goal scorers in, like, for example, Romero. And I think once those Spurs fixtures do swing after they go against Sheffield United, we might see a drop, obviously, Romero in terms of attacking returns. And obviously that will also mean Romero wasn't always the best pick to go for going long term, but probably short term he will have been a good pick.
Yeah, I agree. I think Udogie is definitely preferred. Hizami says, please like the stream, guys, and subscribe to the channel. Good to have a short break during international break after Man United's abysmal display. Yeah. Guys, please, Hizami, thank you for your kind words all the time. We appreciate your support. And yeah, guys, please do like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. It really helps the growth, and we are trying to hit 1,000 subs and grow the channel. So all your support is appreciated. If you just enjoy the content, just hit that like button. But yeah, well, 3 more questions. We're gonna get them in. Ali Mac says hi. Both as Huss and us convinced Jordan not to transfer Trent. Can we all say we are in the top 10k? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it works that way, but yeah, I guess so.
To our eyes, you are in the top 10k.
Yeah. Also, Jordan, how many free transfers do you have?
I got one.
One. Okay, cool. Yeah, you used your transfer, didn't you? I mean, I've got one as well. So ideally, you want to have 2 going into international break. However, one each. So we'll have to play it by, by how we see it. But yeah, there is a break now. So let us gather our thoughts as well, I guess. Comment here from Sinew. What to do with Chelsea assets, regardless of their good run of fixtures? They don't look like a good team to score goals. What to do with Jackson and Sterling, please? It's just mad what one game or 1 week makes in FPL, because before this, we're thinking Chelsea just put 3 past Luton. They're looking very good. They're going to score goals. Sterling just comes off a 19-pointer. Now, after their loss to 1-0 to Forest, people are saying they're rubbish. Get rid of them. Where do you stand on this now, Jordan? This Chelsea debate.
Even though they had a really bad game against Nottingham Forest, I'm not going to put them down yet, because Chelsea did play, let's not forget, played really well against West Ham and Liverpool, and they were difficult fixtures to play those teams against. And Nottingham Forest is a team which can be unpredictable. Like, Nottingham Forest have done weird things to teams, and it's like it's happened again with Chelsea. They beat Chelsea 1-0, and Chelsea were pretty bad in that game. But would we be saying this if Nicholas Jackson obviously scored that sitter, and then obviously Sterling got that assist from it? We'd be completely saying, yeah, Chelsea fixtures are good, the assets are returning, and they're sailing well. So I don't think we should take in consideration over one game where Chelsea have played poorly in, because there's still a long way to go. And I think long term, we have to give Chelsea a chance, because they have improved since last season. Like, it's definitely shown they've improved. So yeah, I think give them chances. I think it's same. It's like similar with Man United. Give Man United assets a chances like Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. I think it's exactly the same with Nicholas Jackson and Sterling. Just keep a hold of them, wait and see what they can do in their next fixtures.
Yeah, we're going to move on now, actually, I think, to game week 5 and talk about how we look in, our squads for that, for that game week after the international break, and also talk about maybe early plans in terms of moves we have. I know it's still very early, but I think I'll bring up our teams. So bear with me for a sec, guys, when I do bring up my team for game week 5. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know how clear that is. Let me zoom in a bit more. Is that better? I won't show you guys the bench, I don't think. Actually, no, that's not better. Okay, cool. We might have to do it like this for now. Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is what my team currently looks like heading into game week 5. I do have 1 free transfer as well. And yeah, we're going to discuss this whole Sterling, Jackson, Chilwell scenario. Like, do we get rid of our Chelsea assets now? For me, I think no. It's way too knee-jerky. It's a knee-jerk stream, but I think you've got to give them patience, guys, because they've got Bournemouth away next. And, again, it should be a decent fixture for them on paper. We bought these Chelsea assets for the longer term. I think, game week 5, Bournemouth, game week 6, Aston Villa, game week 7, Fulham, game week 8, Burnley. After those 4, then yeah, I'd be looking to offload these Chelsea assets, potentially wildcard in game week 9, because there is a fixture swing and you probably want rid of all your Chelsea assets. If they don't return in these games, then yeah, sure, they're a big worry. But I've bought Chelsea assets in longer term, and I'm not willing to get rid of them after a 1-0 loss to Forest personally. So yeah, that is my plans on Chelsea. I think you've echoed similar thoughts, Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to see what Chelsea can do in the next upcoming fixtures and put behind that 1-0 loss to Nottingham Forest and look forward, I think. And hopefully they finally bounce back, I think, because you see most teams that have lost games, like Brighton, They lost heavily to West Ham, but they did bounce back to Newcastle winning. So hopefully Chelsea can replicate a similar effect.
Yeah. So okay. So keep Chelsea. That is our thoughts on here. Just to answer your question. Also, Foden with a few points. What to do with him? I think if you've got Foden, you just keep him. Personally, would you agree there?
Yeah, he's still returning, so yeah, I'll keep him. He's playing in the last fixture too, and yeah, as long as he plays minutes each game, preferably full 90, he's a keeper.
Who should I play for game week 5? Burn or Estupiñán? Obviously, Burn has who does Newcastle have? Estupiñán has Man United. I'd play Estupiñán, honestly, with the way Man United are. I'm playing Estupiñán, I think.
Yeah, I would play Estupiñán, and Newcastle have Brentford at home.
Yeah, I'd play Estupiñán, honestly. I think Estupiñán can easily get an attack in return against Man United, maybe an assist. You know, Brighton do look very free-flowing, scoring goals. Obviously, they just put 3 past Newcastle, so yeah, definitely play Estupiñán. Krogsberg, 83 points for me. Okay, game week. My differentials were Alvarez and Ward-Prowse. Yeah, I mean, Alvarez did brilliant, didn't he?
Yeah, he did in that game. He scored lovely goal.
Yeah, I mean, we did speak about Alvarez as a differential, that if I had a free hit team, Alvarez would definitely be in my draft. And yeah, he went, and if you took the risk, him actually, when he starts, he is a great pick. So yeah, well done. Kwanda, good evening, lads. I got 73 points with 2 free transfers at least. I am happy I did not sell Rashford to Sterling. I will sell Rashford for Son or Maddison if no injury happens during international break. Now, this actually is a good question because it ties into what we're going to move on to now, I think, and that is to discuss Son. Because for those that didn't watch the game, Son basically played as a striker. Richarlison obviously has been playing up front. It's not really worked out for Richarlison, and Son has now took that mantle, playing down the middle. The other positive thing as well, I think Son is on penalties as well. I know he didn't get one, but it looks like Son's going to be on penalties, playing down the middle as a midfielder at Spurs. The way Spurs have started the season, I think they look really good. And is it knee-jerky, Jordan? Son in for whoever?
No, I don't think it's knee-jerky at all. We know how Son is, how he has been previous seasons, and he had a bad season last because he was down to injury. So now that he's fully fit and back, it's just showing that back to his normal self, he is a goal scorer. And obviously, when Harry Kane was at Spurs, them two worked pretty well. And I think as a lone forward now for Spurs, he is going to be the more direct source of goals because, as we said, it hasn't worked out for Richarlison, but it puts Son in that position and straight away he gets a hat-trick. So it is looking good, I think, for Son if you're considering bringing him in, especially if you had him before that hat-trick.
Yeah, look, with Son, obviously we know what he did, the 20-pointer, the hat-trick, I think 3 bonus points as well. So yeah, brilliant game week from Son. And now a lot of us are going to look at him. Is he a viable option to bring in ahead of game week 5? You take a look at his game week 5 fixture against Sheffield at home, looks to be very good on paper. After that, it is a bit tricky. It's Arsenal and Liverpool back-to-back, so you'd expect maybe a bit trickier fixtures for Spurs there. After that, though, Luton in game week 8 and then Fulham in game week 9, Palace as well in game week 10, they look a lot better. So I think Son could be an actual option, guys. Very low owned as of now. I don't think that's going to stay 8.1%. I can definitely see that soaring up because there's a lot of midfielders now that that they are all quite affordable and we can just bring and switch them around. So Son could be a potential buy for, you can get rid of a Bruno, get rid of a Rashford. And I think a lot of people will be looking at Son after that 20-pointer. But yeah, that game week 6 and game week 7 fixtures do slightly concern me, like longer term. I'd maybe want him still, though. If you want to bring him in, you could bring him in, have that Sheffield at home fixture. Hopefully he returns in that. And then after that, maybe he can nick something against Arsenal, Liverpool, because he definitely can do it. Don't get me wrong. It's just a tougher fixture. And Luton in game week 8 could be a very nice pick for Son if you have Son. And for that game week 8 fixture against Luton could even be captain worthy, dare I say it. But maybe I am jumping the gun. But yeah, Son, I think he's a good pick, especially playing down the middle with Spurs now. Harry Kane's gone. Obviously, they're going to rely on Son a lot more for the goals, and I think it's not a bad shout if you are, if you are contemplating going to Son as a pick, let us know, guys, what you think anyway in the chat. Are you going to Son, or do you think it's just knee jerky and we're just jumping the gun on it?
It's definitely, for me personally, a player that I'll be keeping my eye on in the next 3 matches, I think, just to see what form is like for Son up front. If he stays in that position, especially, I think he could be a decent future asset to go for.
Is Diaby still a good pick, says Michael. I mean, Diaby is now 6.6 million, and he didn't have the best of games today. I thought Liverpool defended really well. I didn't expect it from Liverpool. I thought, they could get troubled a bit from Diaby, the likes of Watkins in behind. Both Liverpool main centre backs not playing, and they handled Diaby quite well, I thought. And Diaby's actually had a very good start to the season. He got that lovely 12-pointer against Burnley, so a lot of people did bring him in. He also scored in Gameweek 1 against Newcastle. And for me personally, I don't think he's a sell or anything. If I've got Diaby, I'd give him time. Palace next, again, good fixture I think for him. Chelsea, Brighton after that, and Wolves, West Ham, and Luton in Gameweek 10. So if you've got him, I wouldn't be rushing him out, to be honest. What do you make of it if you're a Diaby owner, Jordan?
No, I don't think I'll be rushing him out. I mean, he's played really well considering even the losses for Aston Villa. He's managed to still keep decent form in, and the fixtures will look really nice. There's a lot of green ones, especially after Chelsea and Brighton in a row right there for Aston Villa. So their fixtures do improve as the game weeks do go on. So yeah, I think he's a keeper, Diaby. 9.5% ownership as well. He's definitely a rank gainer if he has to get anything of any of those fixtures upcoming for Aston Villa.
Also, same question regarding Solly March. Is Solly March still a keep? We should quickly discuss Solly March. He played 80 minutes against Newcastle. For me, I'd probably sell him if I'm being honest. I think I'd sell him. Man United, Bournemouth, Villa, Brighton, Man City. I'd sell Solly March. I think he's got to go. Jesus or Jackson, says Michael as well. Another. What do you reckon, Jordan? Obviously, Jesus started on the bench today, came on, and he got the 3rd goal for Arsenal. He's back fit now, it looks like. Again, fixtures not too bad.
I don't know. I'd be wary of Jesus, whether he can keep fit or not. That might be my only worry about that. On the other hand, Jackson, he's finding the chances. It's just not in his finishing category yet. So I was probably swing towards Jackson because I know that Jackson will definitely play 90-minute football, and he's getting the chances. Even though Jesus did score today off the bench, I still would side towards Jackson because he will start playing 90-minute football, and he's getting chances. He just needs to score.
Yeah, obviously he needs to be a bit more clinical, and we do expect him to with the fixture turn for Chelsea. Chelsea still have nice fixtures, guys, on paper. I know they had that really bad loss, but they did play well against Liverpool and West Ham, even in that loss, and then obviously Luton they played well. But yeah, Jesus is interesting. Now he's fit. We're expecting to play Everton next week. Could be after the international break. Could be very good for Jesus. I don't know what that score could be. The way Everton are playing, Jesus, if you're on a wild card. There are managers that are talking about wildcarding on Game Week 5. If I had a wildcard, I would potentially be tempted to go with Jesus because Everton fixture could be scary. Spurs after that, it's usually a tougher game for Arsenal. Spurs are playing really well, and I've been very, very impressed with Spurs, and that's not going to be an easy game for Arsenal. Bournemouth after that, again, good fixture. City and Chelsea gets a bit tougher, and then Sheffield after that. So I don't know if I'd include Jesus if you've not got him. I don't know if I'd be rushing to bring him in. I think Jackson's fine, if I'm being honest. I don't have any plans to bring Jesus in, but look, that could change, but we'll see how that one, play it by ear. Obafemi got a -8. All the players I sold got more points than Antonio, Sterling, and Bowen. Ooh. Obviously Sterling. Bowen did score, didn't he, though? But that was only the 1 goal. I'm getting rid of all my Chelsea players, says David. We've just spoke about Chelsea and the need to hold their players. Now, a lot of us are tripled up on Chelsea, and I think the managers are getting frustrated. Maybe after that, are we getting frustrated too early? I think possibly.
That there was a lot of frustration in that game. Yeah, I will say that there was a lot of frustration if you just watch that Chelsea game. But I can see why people are getting frustrated, especially if you have triple Chelsea. I think you can get away with having two. If I'm honest, I think you can get rid of one. I don't think I would get rid of all of them, but I would get rid of one if you have three of them in your team.
Another comment, bag that 0.1 million from Jackson if you have the chance. Not sure what's the hype over him anyway. 7 big chances and 6 squandered. Yeah, I mean, we can deep dive into Jackson and talk about him in a bit more, because he seems like obviously a big talking point, doesn't he, this game week? And rightly so, because obviously we saw what entailed. I mean, he has I've seen some people compare him to Nunes of last season. I've seen that, Nunes getting a lot of chances last season. He didn't, score all of them. But there is that positive with Jackson, and I said the same with Nunes last year. Now, I know it didn't kind of work out with Nunes, but when a player gets that many chances and he's putting himself in that position to score, I would rather have that type of player than someone that isn't involved and isn't getting the chances, if you know what I mean. So let's take a look at Jackson here. In the first game against Liverpool, his expected goals was 0.53, which is pretty good against Liverpool. Game week 2, his expected goals per 90, 0.79, which is very good against West Ham. Against Luton, it was 0.71. And then against Nottingham Forest, obviously 0.92, that big miss. His underlying, numbers, his XG, his expected goal involvement in every game as well, nearly 1 goal involvement a game. And again, look, I'm not trying to convince you guys to keep it, Jackson, if you don't want to. But I can't sell him before Bournemouth at home, I don't think. What about you, Jordan?
The one thing we've got to think about is when Chelsea score goals, who else do you think it's going to come from if you do have Lucas Jackson in the team? Other than Chilwell, who may get a goal, or Sterling, who else do you think is going to get a goal for Chelsea? Because I don't see any other player, apart from those three, Jackson, Chilwell, or Sterling, that are going to get goals for Chelsea. So Jackson plays a fundamental role in obviously the goals for Chelsea playing up front. And they obviously need to score goals to get their 3-point wins and whatnot. So I think despite Jackson missing chance after chance, he's getting those chances at the end of the day. And eventually he's going to put one in the back of the net sooner or later.
Yeah, and again, fixtures, Bournemouth, Villa, Fulham, Burnley, I can't look past that personally. So that's the reason why I'm probably going to hold Jackson until at least game week 9, where I think there's definitely, you probably want rid of him after that. Unless he does well, you never know. In the next 4 games, if he starts scoring, you may want to keep him longer. But I think I'll get rid around game week 9 with Jackson. So that's the Jackson chat. Lucky, I believe my own eyes and went with Alvarez. Yeah, fair enough. If you went with Alvarez, lucky. Maybe not lucky, because obviously Alvarez is a great pick. But I think, yeah. I mean, I would go Alvarez as well, but my only worry with Alvarez is the fact that I don't know if he's going to play every week, which is a worry with Alvarez. Because if Alvarez was going to start every game, we'd definitely have Alvarez in our team, surely.
Oh, absolutely. I would agree with that. Alvarez is a perfect forward to go for Man City. That's scored lots of goals, like literally. Without a doubt, you could have double Man City up front if we knew Alvarez was going to start every game. I
mean, he's played 90 minutes really every game so far this season. He started every game, which is a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect Alvarez to start this many games, if I'm being honest. I am a bit surprised that maybe he is more nailed than we think this season. And if that's the case, then he's definitely a great pick, because we know how good he is. Any other team, he probably starts for any other team. Obviously, Man City have Haaland, but it seems like Pep is deciding to play both of them together. And they've got nice fixtures: West Ham, Forest, Wolves. So you could go with Alvarez, very low owned at 11.8%. And yeah, fair play. If you do have Alvarez, I think he's a great pick. 90 points into the top 23K, says Abdullah. Yeah, look, brilliant. 90 points, a lot of that was a very high score for even for this type of game week. So yeah, well done. Let us know if anyone in the chat got 100 points. I know there's a few of you have seen the 100-point club, so let us know in the chat. Also, guys, I just want to add, again, I've got to mention it all the time. There is a few of you in here, and not everyone has liked the video so far. So if you can, just put, for 1 second, it will take you a second of your time. Just hit that like button, guys. It really helps support the channel and grow the community. So like the video, And also, please subscribe if you are new, if you're watching for your first time. We've not really spoke too much about Salah, Jordan. We've got to discuss Linus with a comment. Hey guys, is it worth holding on to Salah? Because he's a bit of a discussion point. So thoughts on Salah, Jordan? He's had 4 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. He's returned in every game so far. Obviously with the 8-pointer today against Villa.
Yeah, interesting. Obviously Salah has yet to blank in fantasy football, and if you do own him, then I think he's definitely worth a hold. He hasn't blanked yet. Most midfielders have, and even though his price is 12.5 million, he's still getting attacking returns each week. And from that goal he scored today against Aston Villa at home, that I think has given a boost just to see him getting the score line rather than getting an assist. So yeah, I think it's worth holding Salah for the fixtures as well. Liverpool have pretty much easy fixtures all the way till Gameweek 12 and onwards. So yeah, to answer your question, then I think Salah is worth a hold.
Yeah, I want to add something on this Salah debate as well, on the Salah chat, because Liverpool have had 4 games so far already. So for the season, and you take a look who they've played. They've played Chelsea away, which is a tough game against the top 6 opposition. You'd think, and Salah got an assist. Then he played Bournemouth, okay, easier opposition. He scored. Then he played a tough game, away to Newcastle is one as tough as it gets, I'd like to think, in the Premier League, and he got an assist in that game, so he returned. And then against Aston Villa, again, another good team who are playing really well, started the season brightly, where he got a goal today. And he should have really had an assist if Darwin scored. Salah would have had an assist today, and he would have got a double-digit return. So for me, if you've got Salah, I don't really think it's a debate, really. You keep him. Wolves away, you can see Salah scoring. West Ham looks good as well. Potentially, it is Anfield, and we know Liverpool are stronger at home. Then Spurs, Brighton after that, okay, bit tougher, but I wouldn't. Salah can return against anyone, I think. But next 2 games, definitely green fixtures, and after that, for those managers that are maybe looking at a Gameweek 9 wildcard, I think you may want to have Salah on your wildcard. I'm definitely considering Salah on my wildcard. Everton, Forest and Luton back to back. It doesn't really get as good as that. So yeah, Salah definitely, guys. For me, if you've got him at 25% ownership, I do like him as a bit of a differential, because I think a lot of people are sleeping on Salah. I know there was rumors about going to Saudi, but I think that's been put to bed. He's going to stay at Liverpool, and definitely on a wildcard option when the fixtures turn again in Gameweek 9. I would like to hold Salah, honestly. I think the fixtures look good longer term as well, and yeah, he's returned in every game. What's to say? That's what Salah does, really. He's done it consistently. Yeah, I think the only thing is, does his money let you spread it around and build a better team overall? That's possibly a good chat. However, because there's so many options at 6 million, etc., maybe you can have all of them and maybe have Salah and still get your cake, kind of thing, if you know what I mean. So we are going to discuss replacements as well, because there's some injuries that happened this season, some big ones, and we've got to discuss that as well. So Elohim would have commented as well, Shaw replacements. I know Shaw, it looks like, is out now for a while. Who would you replace Shaw with, Jordan? Elohim has already said he's got Henry, Estupiñán, Chilwell, Baldock. Where'd you go from here?
Replacements for Shaw. In terms of fixtures currently at the moment, I would be tempted to go for an Arsenal.
Interesting.
Yeah, I quite liked Ben White. The only problem is if Ben White plays in that position all the time for Arsenal, because I think he'd be a decent pick if we knew he was going to play every game in that preferred position he does play in. I reckon he's a good attack and return defender in my eyes. Like in today's match, I thought he was really good where he was playing.
Interesting. I mean, Elohim saying he's got Henry. I like Henry at Brentford. For those that don't have him, I think Henry is at a cheap price. I think he's 4.6. Okay, fixtures, Newcastle next could be tough. Everton, Forest, Man United, Burnley. Fixtures aren't the greatest, so maybe you don't want to jump on him now. I think Trippier. He's quite expensive, and I think the comment was it's a comment Shaw replacement. So I don't know if you have the money to do it. If you've not got the money to do Trippier, maybe someone like a Botman who's 4.5 million and he's cheap. And let me explain this, because I know Newcastle just conceded 3 goals and a lot of us aren't going to look at them. But if you look at Newcastle defenders on paper, Brentford, okay, that could be a tough one. Maybe not a clean sheet. But after that, Sheffield, Burnley, 2 games where you can see clean sheets for Newcastle. West Ham, you never know, they can nick a clean sheet. Palace as well, they can. There's some decent green fixtures in there, and I wouldn't mind playing a Botman or a Fabian Schär or even a Trippier, who I'd probably prefer out of all those players, and going something like that. I know there's Champions League that's going to kick in, so one to watch surrounding Trippier. However, I like the Newcastle defense longer term, especially till around the Gameweek 9 section. I think that if you've got the money, Elohim, maybe a Botman, if you've not got as much funds to stretch to Trippier.
Hopefully Botman is fit and healthy again, but he has got currently an ankle injury. Hopefully he does recover quick.
Yeah, of course, Botman is currently flagged, but I think he should be fine after the international break. But it's one to watch, guys, and keep an eye on that news. Best March replacements with no money in the bank. Already own Mbeumo. Good question. With obviously Solly March, we've said you should get rid of him if you've got him. Who would you replace with Solly March? I'm just looking at how expensive he is. I think he's 6.6, isn't he?
Yeah.
6.6. So who's the best midfielder under 6.6 as a replacement?
Ooh, so that is... There aren't many, if I'm honest. I don't think under 6 points.
I mean, we've mentioned thing, haven't we? Diaby, who could still be a good shout. I think Eze. What's Eze's price right now? Eze 6.3. So honestly, Villa next it might be a bit tough actually. Fulham looks good. Man United, Forest, Newcastle after that's you probably don't want to go to Eze, being honest. Diaby, we've spoke about Diaby, haven't we?
Yeah. And Diaby, for the fixtures, that's the Villa have.
I think he's rose in
10
price,
good ones.
hasn't he?
Yeah.
Diaby 6.6. So yeah, you probably can go straight to Diaby. So fixtures are a bit better as well with Diaby. Sorry, hopefully you guys can see that.
There is Matoma as well, 6.5. It's just the fixtures are a bit iffy.
Yeah, fixtures look a bit trickier. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that route. I'm just looking really. There's Ward-Prowse. I know a lot of people are, a lot of people do like Ward-Prowse. He's returned in every game, I think, for West Ham so far. He has. He's returned in every game so far. And again, Man City, Liverpool next. I wouldn't go there personally. Szoboszlai is an interesting one. I think Szoboszlai, he's a very low owned player, 7 million. I know above the price bracket, but he's an interesting pick. There's not as much more, I don't think. I know Rice scored today, but you wouldn't include Rice. Yeah, I mean, Diaby probably, if I'm being honest. But yeah, let us know in the chat, guys, who you would think around that price bracket, who you'd go for.
Yeah, I would actually say Diaby out of all those picks for now. The current fixtures, has to be the easiest ones and long term hold as well. If Diaby does well in most of those fixtures, that has to be the have.
Yeah, Harry also says Pickford has Arsenal next. It's not looking good, bruv. I have him as well. Yeah, look. Yeah, Pickford, we are owners, it's what it is. It's just one of those decisions. It's not been a good decision. But we've got to probably hold him because we've other things we have to fix in our team, and definitely on the wild card. When we do wild card, he won't be in there.
I mean, it should be right though if you have a replacement second goalkeeper for Gameweek 5.
Yeah, I'm playing Turner. I'm playing Turner next week, 100% against Burnley. Just very quickly, Jordan, we're going to discuss. We're just going to quickly discuss early transfer thoughts as well, because we've not done that with your team. Because let's pull up your team and we'll wrap it up soon because we have gone just over an hour, but it's been a bit busier stream. Just talk us through your 11 very quickly, and then any plans in terms of moves you have? Obviously, you are sitting very comfy in top 10k. What's your next move, and what are you thinking?
Well, looking at the team, that we've got Edison in goals, we've got West Ham away. In defence, we've got your doggies, got Sheffield United at home. Good fixture. Estupinian, Man United away. Could potentially be a good fixture. Trent, he's got Wolves away. Again, another fixture, even though it's away for Liverpool. In the midfield, Maddison against Sheffield United at home. Not much more. Sterling, Bournemouth away. Great. Saka, Everton away. Another great fixture. Foden at West Ham away. Could be a bit more difficult. In Mbeumo, it's probably the hardest fixture in my team. He's got Newcastle away. And up front, got Stiggers Jackson. He's got Bournemouth away. And Haaland's got West Ham away. And yeah, in terms of starting 11, I'm pretty much happy with all the players in my team going forward into Game Week 5. I don't think I necessarily need to make a transfer going forward, because I'm pretty happy with all the players in the team, especially the fixtures they all have. The Mbeumo one is debatable, but he has shown good form in his previous fixtures and scored as well. So yeah, I'm quite happy to roll, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, your team looks pretty set, really. So as of now, unless there's injuries over the international break, we'll have to reassess. Obviously, Trent's one to watch, because Trent did get a hamstring injury. I think he's going to get a scan done on that. So hopefully he is fine for Wolves. But he's the one that you may have to potentially take out, or hopefully Botman's fit. But yeah, that's one to watch. Going to my team. So if you're rolling, what my early thoughts are, just quickly go through my team. I've got Turner in goal. I've got back three of Diaz, Chilwell, and Estupinian. Midfield five of Rashford, Mbeumo, Fernandes, Saka, and Sterling. And then up top, I've got Haaland and Jackson. First glance, the team looks pretty fine. I'm okay with the defense. Goalie's fine, I think. I just think it's the Man United boys. Do I keep both of them again, or do I want a Tottenham asset like Maddison, who is tempting me to bring in, or even Son? You know, if I sell a Rashford, I could stretch to a Son. That's one I'll debate, but definitely a Tottenham asset is something I'm looking for in my team. Maybe a James Maddison for one of the Man United boys. But again, I still like the Man United assets because I think Man United assets will return against Burnley, Palace, etc. I do expect them to get points. So that's one reason I'm hesitant to sell my Man United assets completely. But we will talk about all of that in the transfer tips video next weekend. Just to let you guys know very quickly as well, we do actually have a special stream on Wednesday, I believe, where we're going to talk about Game Week 5 wildcard. So make sure you are tuned in, guys. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel. So you know when we go live. So hit that notification bell. Wednesday wildcard special draft that's coming, where we're going to discuss, for those managers considering a wildcard, what the best optimal team is. So make sure you don't miss that one. And yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here. It's been a nice stream. We're going to go and just chill. And yeah, guys, hopefully you had a good game week. Hopefully, you've got a green arrow. If you didn't, hopefully next weekend is better for you after the international break. And just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has watched the stream. Really appreciate all your support as well, and the comments and stuff in the chat. It's been a nice one. If you haven't already, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. A lot of content to come this season. And what do you want to add else to that, Jordan, before we wrap it up?
So yeah, not the best end to the little break we have for everyone, but hopefully this is a nice reflection period for those who did struggle this game week. But yeah, nice little break for you guys. Take care. Enjoy the nice international break, and yeah, special video on Wednesday for you guys for the wild card. And yeah, until then, have a nice week and see you soon.
Yep, see you soon, guys, and enjoy the rest of the weekend, whatever is left. Take care and see you Wednesday. Peace out.